Okay, so I'm going to just kind of draw something out of old Ike, one of my favorite presidents, the military-industrial complex. We seem to be giving our enemies, it seems, a lot of our weapons, and then we have to come out with better weapons to defeat the weapons that we had given people. How do you get out of that cycle? Because I think that costs money, and I think the military does get a lot of money, and if it's better spent perhaps, or maybe we give them older aircraft and we keep this aircraft that we've got for another 30 years, whatever it may be. But I think that might actually, tell the American people a little bit about that aspect, because it seems like it's a revolving door there.
I mean, we're in this place where, and I always use the phrase, invest in stability and not in conflict. If you invest in stability, you're helping a nation. You are challenging a nation. So like Kuwait or the UAE or the Saudis or Egypt or any one of them, you're challenging them to take a hard look at their entire system, their entire ecosystem. Because if they want to have their religion, their quote-unquote religion, and they want to have their security, and they want to pretend like they have women's rights, and they pretend like they have everything's fine, then. And I can tell you it's not. So one example, and I don't want to say too much about this book, but one example I talk about in the book is in 2015, there were more books translated in Spain that year, in 1 year, translated into Spanish, than there were books translated in the Arab world for the last 1,000 years. Okay? So 1,000 years ago, the Arab world would have had all of the Nobel Prizes, science, art, peace. They would have gotten them all 1,000 years ago. So what changed was this guy Muhammad comes into play, and honestly, we're dealing with a text that is ancient and not helpful, and a society that lives on that text, and it can't come to grips with modernity, with becoming modern. So the second thing is investing in conflict. So when you give somebody more weapons, instead of giving them some other means to help themselves, then what you're doing is you're really investing in conflict. Because especially in this region, because when you look at who it is that you're talking to or dealing with, are you sure you know who you're dealing with? Because that's, to a degree, that's what's happened in the Middle East, where we're dealing with one, we're feeding weapons into one group, and all of a sudden they turn against us and they join the bad guys.